They're not talking about my mama. America and Afghanistan, Iraq. I can say it's wrong. You better act like everything went well. Don't you say nothing about my country. I'm just saying, man, I'm tired of like these weak, like these leftists out here. They soft as marshmallows. And they up here trying to act tough. We'll clean it out, man. Like when I was on UC Davis campus. Man, I could have whooped all those people by myself. The little numb, I can smell the wuss in the air. I'm like, they ain't about no drama. Little non-binary on that bike. Hey, I'm a girl. You ain't not a match for me. I did a little shove like this because they were encroaching on our people. I just said, get back. Homeboy flipped and flopped like a action figure. I just had to say to get that out of my chest, y'all. Don't get mad at me. Quit playing with America.
For the Senate, did you subpoena phone toll records?
As I sit here right now, I do not recall a specific number.
Is this the complete list right here? Well, let me ask you this. Am I on this list? Did you target my records and subpoena my phone toll records?
My understanding is your records were subpoenaed by prosecutors before I became special counsel.
Well, the staff would put this up on the screen. I'm thankful for the great staff who discovered the email where I learned for the first time a few weeks ago that my phone records were indeed targeted. We called AT&T and we've learned that they were given to the Department of Justice, as this email indicates, because I had been in communication with Scott Perry, one of my colleagues here in Congress, who literally had his phone taken from him in front of his family. And of course, as we've already talked about in this document, it talks about you could be in violation of the privilege by even obtaining and possessing this information if the member objected to the disclosure. This happened 4 years ago in May of 2022, and I couldn't object because I didn't know. I didn't know until about 3 weeks ago. My question here is, was there any limits to your investigation or the investigation that preceded you, Mr. Smith? Because as egregious as a violation of separation of powers this is, as an egregious and abuse of power it is, it's far more concerning you are clearly targeting American citizens for merely being conservative or supporting the president. Memos that we've already been talking about in this hearing from April 2022 that preceded you that established and opened the investigations, one of which has Attorney General Merrick Garland's signature on it. And the focus was the electors. Now that was 6 months before you were appointed. You testified earlier, you met and interviewed Merrick Garland and Deputy AG Lisa Monaco. And you briefed the AG and deputy multiple times. Did you brief them on the electors and the prosecution of their supposed crimes?
No. Did I? I'm sorry.
Did you brief them on the electors and their supposed crimes?
I don't recall specific conversations, but I'm sure that in the course of briefing them, I discussed.
Wasn't that the purpose of the entire investigation as it was set out? Because putting aside that in 1960, we already talked about my friend Mr. Tiffany, that Hawaii put forward an alternate slate of electors, the investigation pivoted to President Trump and frankly anybody who knew him. Do you know who Cleta Mitchell is?
Yes, I do.
She's an election lawyer that was involved in filing an election contest on behalf of President Trump in Georgia in December of 2020. A 64-page complaint with over 1,100 pages of exhibits, witness affidavits, and expert witness reports documenting thousands of votes cast in violation of Georgia law, but which were nevertheless included in the vote totals. Now, notwithstanding the disposition of the cases that was filed, is that a criminal act? Filing an election contest on behalf of a candidate for office, a client. Is that a criminal act, yes or no?
No, in fact, we
So why did you deem it appropriate to monitor Cleta Mitchell's long-distance phone records in 2023, 2.5 years after the election contest was filed and after the presidential electors were certified? What about Jen Ellis? What about Sidney Powell? What about Bill Sepien? What crime did you suspect had been committed by them that would warrant monitoring their phone records 2.5 years after the 2020 election was certified?
With respect to Sidney Powell, she is one of the co-conspirators alleged in the indictment. I don't know what you mean by monitoring, sir. If you're
Well,
talking,
there were some 400 plus Republican conservative groups and leaders who were targeted by your investigation. Their financial records were obtained, records of the RNC, the Trump campaign, Cleta Mitchell, the Conservative Partnership Institute, the America First Policy Institute, NRCC, NRSC, PACs, conservative groups, people all across the country, citizens, because we hear a lot about members of Congress. And we should, because of separation of powers and the egregious abuse of power. But what we're not talking about enough, in my opinion, are the American citizens that have been targeted. Because frankly, are there any limits to the power of a special prosecutor or special counsel? So much so in your abuse of power that in the summer of 2024, the indictment involving classified documents was dismissed after determining your appointment violated the Appointments Clause of the Constitution, but you continued to sign your name on court filings until the time you resigned from office in January of 2025. A federal judge just recently stated a prosecutor who continues to sign his name in court filings after a disqualification order should face disciplinary action or disbarment. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
Did the gentleman have the opportunity to respond?
If the gentleman wants to respond, he can.
with respect to the last point, Judge Cannon's order specifically limited her finding to that.
That man's had 2 police detail, one to get his paper and one to drive him to City Hall and back. Mayor Daley had 2 police detail. This man, Brandon Johnson, got 150.
With a protester vehicle.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that your numbers of interactions have gone down to only 300,000.
Actually millions, but personally I've interacted with over 300,000, believe it or not.
Does that matter? This nigga is a idiot, bro. He just told you, what are you gonna do about the police detail if you want to get rid of them since you hate police so much? And you're talking about his numbers? You talking about his views? Y'all, I'm not joking when I say that this guy, Brandon Johnson, is Bozo the Clown. This dude is literally Bozo Johnson. Bozo Johnson is at it again, ladies and gentlemen, saying irrelevant statements, platitude statements that means absolutely nothing to the people of Chicago. He just told you he interacted with over 300,000. It doesn't matter if he interacted with 10. It doesn't matter if he interacted with 5. Those 5 Chicagoans, those 10 Chicagoans, I will treat dearly. He just told you 300,000. Oh, your numbers went down. Your numbers went down, William J. Kelly. You were cooking me so much. And it's like, you're just fucking lame. You're just a lame-o. Bozo lame-o.
It went down this week.
No, it's going up. Higher than yours, by the way.
Okay.
By the way, check out your comments. Check out the comments on your feed.
I think it's important to be able to make sure that to the people that you're talking to, though, you're talking to less and less people.
Nigga, are you gonna answer the question or not, bro? This is what I be talking about, bro. Are you gonna answer the question? Are you going to get rid of your police detail since you hate police so much? Yes or no? Because it's costing the taxpayer dollars. What are we talking about here, bro? Why are you twiddling with your feel? Like, what are you doing?
Every week is that they know the truth. Here's what I've said: that the addiction on jails and incarceration and the addiction of militarism, it is an evil. Dr. King made that very clear.
Really?
He did. And so I believe it's incumbent upon us to make sure.
Dr. King was a commie. We're talking about a communist here, guys. Now, I know a lot of people, that watch my channel, I guess I come up as an FBA or something like that. I'm not at all. And if you guys do your research, this dude was a Fed. Martin Luther King was a Fed. He was also an adulterer, by the way. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're putting your cards on the wrong guy here, black people. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people were even saying that Martin Luther King was a rapist. Bro, now, that's just some new news to me. I found out, like I say, 3 days ago. I didn't look into it yet because you guys know Martin Luther King Day just passed and all that nonsense. But, guys, that's new news to me. Now, if that's true, we gonna have to completely disown Broski. I'm not gonna lie. We can disown Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and all these, and R. Kelly, and all of these people. We're gonna have to disown Broski too. MLK, if that's true, you're cooked.
Sure that the real Chicagoans or the real people of America, instead of sending billions of dollars overseas, we should be spending it on the people right here in the city of Chicago.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talked to,
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, right quick, bro. Now, you guys already know I don't like Brandon Johnson. I actually hate this nigga's guts. But that's a low-key, under the radar, low-key rare W, bro. I don't want my money going to foreign countries either. Now, I already told people this. If Republicans don't pick up this talking point, we're going to lose the election in 2028. I already told you guys that this is a thing. And you see Brandon Johnson, he's watching my show. You guys do know that, right? Brandon Johnson watches my show. He knows that the people of Chicago, they damn near speak through me. Now, not with all like the cursing and things like that. I'm not saying majority of Chicago, but the ones that actually fight for Chicago, yes, a lot of people don't have a problem with what I'm saying when it comes to the critique of Brandon Johnson. And this is why everything that I say about this guy, this dude is watching me like a hawk. I have footage at City Hall. This dude literally was stalking me, okay? He even wanted me to have a meeting with him when I was with Chicago Red. Piss Ray, the fucking traitor, she wanted to have a meeting with this guy. That's why I'm like, you guys still support P. Ray. You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because she is working with Brandon Johnson and Danny Davis and every single fucking Democrat in Chicago, Illinois, and Illinois in general. I ain't sell out. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, now let's continue.
that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And sadly, let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to move.
Hey, you know what? I've been hearing this background NPC character for a minute. Nigga, shut up. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your name is, but every time William J. Kelly got a question, I don't care if it's long-winded. Nigga, shut up and let Broski cook. Do your job, nigga, and shut up. You see what I'm saying? Every time William J. Kelly got a good question, first of all, he already asked the question. Brandon Johnson didn't answer it. Why are you getting mad at William J. Kelly? Because your dumbass leader can't answer a simple question.
Make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacy, would you want ICE to deport her, to deport that illegal alien? Yes or no? Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but.
This nigga is a punk, bro. That is a simple answer. Yes, I will want that man to be deported, and you better hope they deport him before I get my hands on him. He just told you, not even as a mayor, bro, as a man, dude, as a father. You're a fucking Moulignan. And I'm sick and tired of being nice about this guy, bro. This nigga's a fucking stupid, fucking bootlicking Moulignan, bro.
But as a man, would you want ICE to deport that rapist? No? Okay.
I'm done with this video, man. This nigga's a piece of filth, bro. He's a piece of filth. Shout out William J. Kelly. Look, you always welcome on the show. You just heard him that he interact with majority black people. You think this is a lie? William J. Kelly has more connection to the people of Chicago than Brandon Johnson, and it's not even close to being close here, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys know what these illegal migrants has done to the neighborhoods that are predominantly black? And it gives a bad stigma to the actual legal migrants. I'm gonna even stop calling them illegal migrants. These
The Awfuls, that's the affluent white female lefties, are doing all they can to obstruct law enforcement. Doing everything they can to provoke and obstruct, to protect criminals. That's what they're doing. It's an insurrection, and I don't use that word lightly, an insurrection provoked by this sort of reckless rhetoric. Let's hear from the governor of Minnesota, Tampon Tim Walz, who claims ICE agents are hunting and kidnapping innocent people.
ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process.
Just reckless craziness. And here he claims ICE agents are committing atrocities.
And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
Let's look at some of these protesters. They're not just filming, they are obstructing, they are violent, and they are committing crimes. Here they steal a rifle and ammunition from a weapons locker in a federal vehicle.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Where are the cops? And here is a little more lawlessness from Minneapolis, with law enforcement vehicles being destroyed. And staying in Minnesota, let's not forget about the billions, yes, billions with a B, defrauded from US taxpayers. Segments of the Somalian community have been cleaning up, running childcare centres without any children. But of course, the media is uninterested in that. They were more eager to run PR exercises from the left, claiming the unprecedented fraud was fake news. But the counter-offensive did not go too well. Look at this woman's reaction when she inadvertently admits there is fraud.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud,
Oops, and here is another Minnesota mum who freaks out, absolutely freaks out when she inadvertently admits fraud is bad.
I understand, fraud is bad.
That's right, fraud is bad. You said it.
Yes, well done, love. You did really good. We'll get back to Minneapolis soon, but let's check in with Lefty Heartland, Seattle. Wonder what's been happening there.
Stay with me, all. Hands up, Venezuela! Hands up, Venezuela! Free President Maduro! La lucha sigue! Libertad, socialismo o muerte! Venceremos!
Yes, literally protesting to free a mass murdering dictator. A dude in a dress protesting to free a mass murdering dictator. Clearly, He's not aware of Maduro's attitude to the LGBTQIA++ community. Meanwhile, despite claims from the left that Republicans are split over Trump's actions with Maduro, the data proves otherwise. Take away CNN's polling expert, Harry Enton.
Let me be very clear. There is no rift in the Republican. On the U.S. military ousting Maduro. Ipsos, 65% support, 6% opposed. How about the Washington Post poll? 74% support, just 10% opposed. If you look among 2024 Trump supporters, we're talking about 80% support.
Let's get back to the madness in Minneapolis. We now have churches falling victim to this lawless insurrection. Protesters stormed a city's church service after claiming one of the pastors there is an ICE agent. Don Lemon was with the protesters, naturally. Let's listen to his report.
Have gathered over here. They're in the middle of the church. So in the beginning of the church service, the pastor was speaking, and Makima stood up and said her piece, and then the protesters surrounded her. But this is a clandestine mission. I think they found out one of, according to them, this is according to Operation Pull Up, that one of the pastors here is a member of ICE. And so here we go.
Fresh year, same story. Banks raking it in while you drown in fees and interest. It's time to fight back. PDS Debt has helped hundreds of thousands cut credit card, loan and